Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bring Back the Love Conversations. I'm your host, AJ Throwback. Great to be here with y'all on another Friday evening. And we officially have our first return guest. Like he couldn't get enough of the first time, so he back again, to talk about love languages and continue the conversation about love, romance, and R&B. None other than my brother, Hell Yeeeah, on the check-in once again. Salute, my brother. Welcome back.
Yeah. I had some more stuff to get off my plate. Hot topic. It's a hot topic. It's a hot
Yes,
topic.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I appreciate you for coming back on this program again. What was cool is I realized watching the first episode, and speaking of the first episode, you currently have the most watched episode in the series so far. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? From the first one.
I noticed. I noticed. I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of engagement with that one. So the people was definitely feeling that first conversation. So
Yeah,
that's hopefully that we can get them numbers up even more for this particular
yeah.
episode too.
We did repeat process. He was going
Yes.
on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So one of the things I recall is some of the questions I ended up asking other people. I didn't really get to ask you the first time around. So that makes this conversation even better. So being from New York and everything, like y'all have y'all radio stations, like you have BLS, you got I think Kiss 98.7,
Yeah,
what I'm saying, stations like that really are staples in the R&B market. You know what I mean? Specifically, like thinking about WBLS, like that was a station I know whenever I spent a lot of time in New York, like
yeah.
I
They played it.
stayed listening to WBLS, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like bringing the radio aspect into things in terms of how you received R&B growing up when you started really getting into it. How did radio play a factor in that?
It it played like a small factor to me because I'm not really a radio person. Like I
Mhm.
really try not to listen to the radio too much because it's programming. Like I'm one of them. If I like something, I want to like it because I like it. Like the first time I hear a song, if I don't like it, I don't never want to hear it again.
Mm.
Because if I let the radio play it, they'll play it like 10 times. By
Yeah.
by by number 8, I'm singing the hook because it's in my head. Like nah. So I really like the radio. Really don't have a big influence on me. Like maybe earlier on, but as I really started, getting into music, I was anywhere else except for the radio. I was getting music from because I
Mm.
just like to hear different sound, like just different stuff. I don't want to hear or listen to what everybody else is listening to. I want to be influenced by different things. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So considering that, because I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I was talking to one of my best friends. Um in fact, he was the guy that was performing with me when me and you first met. My boy Country. We was having a conversation because we had a radio show together back in college. And one of the things that he talked about really being growing up in New York. He's not originally from New York, but he grew up primarily in New York. One of the things he talked about was like mixtapes, like how that was one of the things that kind of
Yeah,
sort of exposed him to a lot of R&B that might not have necessarily been on the radio, um, and just different avenues of finding music other than the radio, even though he was somebody that listened to radio, but like being in New York is just a different kind of
yeah,
atmosphere for
it's,
getting music other than just
especially
listening to the radio.
especially in the '90s, and especially in the '90s when rap started getting emerged with hip hop. Like that was like when hip hop and R&B was kind of becoming one. There was real heavy on the mixtape scene there.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So considering how radio didn't really play much of a factor for you, um, I'm guessing it's probably safe to say that, like me growing up in DC, especially you talking like late 80s, early 90s, BT was like the thing, especially because BT was based here in DC before
Oh
they like
yeah,
moved a lot of like their operations I mean, they were headquartered here, but like you think about 106 and Park, then moving to New York, like in the early 2000s, like late
Yeah,
90s, early
later
2000s.
on,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But most of the programming, and most of the stuff that they did, like you think about Teen Summit, that was right here in the DMV. You know, like that all.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we got it different than probably say anybody else around the country, even though BT was like a national TV network that you saw everywhere. We still got it different because a lot of the personalities that were on BET were also on the radio here. So um is it the same thing in terms of not really watching, or like not really watching music videos like that as well?
Nah, it's kind of similar because, like I said, I got a lot of my influences from the same thing, especially BT, like
Hmm.
music, video, soul, all that, all that stuff. Like you can get a lot of influences from that. I probably got more so into that than the radio because a real you ain't different. It's not
Hmm.
only are you listening to the song, you're watching and seeing what's going on. So
Yeah.
I probably would be more in tune to check out a video than I would listen to the radio.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting dynamic, and I think a lot of people probably it is. I think it varies on who you talk to, because I know for me growing up, it was a mixture of both. Like I watched BT probably just as much as I listened to the radio, because once again, a lot of the same people were on, the radio,
Yeah,
here. Like I think about, of course, Donnie Simpson. He was on WKYS here for a very long time. Like he really helped to make WKYS like a top tier radio station that like it is now. Like a lot of that, and also like I think about WPGC at one time, that was not a station that people was really checking for until probably about 1987, 1988, when they changed their format and they changed to the urban contemporary format. But for the longest time, you were not listening to WPGC. And a lot of times you weren't listening to WKYS until, again, Donnie Simpson came from Detroit, came here, revolutionized like radio here. And really, he put a lot of other different people in the room. Like I think about Alvin Jones. Even though Alvin Jones, I think he might have been at BT right around the same time as Donnie Simpson, but a lot of people don't talk about the silent VJ. Like he is the reason why Rap City is what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason we recognize it, like he was a co-creator of Rap City, and a lot of people don't know that because he was behind the scenes. But Alvin Jones was also instrumental in DC radio because he also had the slow jam. So it's like you got the hip hop aspect on BT, him being a part of that, but then he also touched the R&B spectrum as well. So I think like for myself, I flip flop between radio and video because, like you said, video gave you that visual, it put a face to the artist that you were listening to so often, and in a way that MTV wasn't doing, in a way that VH1 wasn't doing at that particular time, because they weren't playing our music a lot of times. Like you're not going to hear about like a lot of those unsung artists on MTV and VH1 that you would see on BET. And I think that was the thing for me. Like I got to see some of these artists that, I might have heard their song on the radio.
you would normally see them visually.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like see them get some exposure, get to see their personality. I think that's another thing. When you listen to somebody sing, it's one thing, but then when you see their personality in a music video, it's a completely different ball game, because it's like, okay, how does what you do on record, how does that translate to a music video? Because you got to have
Yeah,
some personality. You got to have a little bit more oomph to you in order to really sell that song, you know?
yeah. Packaging.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, we're here. Well, and also, I don't think we touched this part of it as well. So, you talked a little bit about like the last time, like the specific time that you got in the R&B, like you got in the R&B like a little bit later. Let's say maybe I did. And around the time, because you mentioned Tank as one of those people that you got into like heavily. And you one of the biggest Tank fans I know. But
Yeah,
like you think about when Tank came out, Tank came out like during the CD era of like
Yeah.
receiving music. So like thinking about tapes versus CDs or vinyl versus CDs and then all of that versus say like us being in the digital age. How do you feel like getting into R&B when you did, even though it was like right around that transition from say the CD era to the digital era? How do you think that that kind of sort of shaped your appreciation for music, for R&B in particular?
Nah, it's pretty much all the same. Like I how you say, I consume music the same, no matter what the genre is. Like I
Mm-hmm.
always consumed it the same, like CD, tape, whatever. Like this now from the digital age. Like what I like about the digital age is it gives you access to everything
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Yeah.
But what I do miss is the packaging, the liner notes, coming
Yes.
home, ripping open that CD, reading the yo who wrote this record. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, they sampled this. Oh, all right. Oh man, all these people wrote this. All right, like
Mm-hmm.
that's the part I miss. Like
Yeah.
just looking at the artwork or the album cover or just different things. Like sometimes that alone to tell a story to the album as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
just looking like it's not just a picture. It's giving me a story of the album just
Yeah.
by through pictures. So like that's the difference what I miss now from you know from listening to music then. But no matter what it was, whether R&B, rock, anything, I always consume the music the same way because like I said, music is music. Like good music is good music
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't
But
matter,
you
matter the genre.
yeah, but you do bring up a really good point in terms of like the liner notes and the packaging because I feel like there's a different level of care that's put into how you sell an album or how you sell even a single
Yeah,
when you can be able to look at like hold it first and foremost, hold it in your hand like it's an actual physical copy of something that you said, you know what, I'm going to buy this. And that's another
yeah,
thing. I think the streaming game has spoiled us as consumers in a lot of ways. Like we can appreciate it, but I do still think that there's some level of depreciation in terms of the product itself because you don't get to hold that album in your hand. You don't
yeah.
get to hold that single in your
Yeah,
hand. You don't get to go to the record store anymore and flip through CDs and look actually try to find the CD. Like cuz a lot of times you could go to a store and you want a particular single or a particular album and they might not have it. They might have to order it. It might be out of print and you gotta it's more of a where's Waldo type of deal when it comes to finding certain
yeah,
albums.
yeah. That was part of the hunt. That's the
Yeah.
hunt.
Yeah, yeah, and I think in a lot of ways, the digital age is a beautiful thing. Like, let me be clear because there are a lot of albums and songs that I have not been able to find for years that like even some of the record stores don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
I think about like this one guy. I want to say he came out in maybe 1989. It was this guy. He was actually from the area. His name is Tony Fontaine, and he put out this song called "I Found a Girl." They still don't have that song on any of the digital streaming platforms. The only way that you're going to be able to listen to that song is if you go to YouTube or if you buy the actual record. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to listen to that song. And to certain degrees, I like that aspect of those some of those rare records that you got to put
It
some
makes it
effort into.
special.
Yeah,
Makes it special.
exactly, because it's not easily as accessible. You can't just go to Apple Music and put that joint on a playlist. You know what I'm saying? Because unless you actually have it and you've
And own
digitally
it. Yeah, yeah.
right, you
You
know,
have
like
to do the
you're
work
not going
to
to be able
put
to
it
do
in
that.
manually. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I do miss the days of being able to like crack open a CD, like literally rip the plastic off the CD and the
Yeah.
first thing I always did was read the liner notes. I wanted to know who the producer was, who the songwriter was, who the engineers were.
Yep.
Another thing, you had the lyrics right in.
Who did the artwork?
Right, exactly. Who
Yeah.
did the artwork,
Like
who was
all
doing
different things.
makeup, you know,
Yeah.
like all of that stuff that like you don't see that information readily available now. You have to a lot of times you gotta like look that stuff up online. And granted, you know, there's still a search to a certain degree, but I
Not the
think
same. It's not the same.
no, it's not. Like for me, the information I retained it better because it was in packaged form, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, look how you digesting it. You're
Hmm.
listening to the album as you opened it, and you're reading the liner
Exactly.
notes while you're listening to the music.
Yep.
So as you're reading and bringing that information in, it's already aligned with the music you're listening to. So
Right.
it's all one.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great point. Great point. So as we transition into talking about this topic of love languages, I mean, of course, you were on the first wave talking about the feeling of something new in a relationship. But now, as we transition into love languages, and one of the things that I've enjoyed about this particular wave in the series is that love languages look different to different people, or they don't always they don't always involve romantic relationships. Okay. I think we might have lost our brother Hell Yeah. Hopefully he will get back on momentarily. But in the meantime, if you have not heard my latest single, which is while I'm waiting for him to come back, my latest single, which is Fluent in My Language, the single that is actually the inspiration for this whole series, well, this particular part of the series. The latest instrumental single from yours truly. It's available now for purchase and streaming. Buy it on iTunes, buy it on Amazon, buy it on Bandcamp, and my Bandcamp page, djthrowback.bandcamp.com. You can also stream it on Tidal, and you can also get it on my website, bammllc.net/music. Once again, bammllc.net/music. So definitely appreciate everybody who has been supporting the single thus far. And I think we got our brother back. So let me go ahead and bring him in. Boom.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but
It's all good. It's all
dipped
when I
out.
heard yeah, when I heard the little sound, I was like, uh-oh, that joint probably about to go out on
Oh,
him.
oh, you had got the heads up. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Yeah. So, and if you could also do me a favor, if
Turn it.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go, my brother. Appreciate that. Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to look all weird. Just trying to
Yeah,
get
that's
Bill.
nah, it's all it's
Just
all
trying to.
good, brother.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So what I was saying was about the whole thing about love language is that it looks different to different people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course you have the traditional ones, the five love languages. You think words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, receiving gifts, and I always remember four of them, and it's always that fifth one that eludes me. I think I said quality time. I said words of affirmation, receiving gifts, physical touch, and oh, acts of service. I always forget acts of service for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So for you, um, what do you believe your love language to be? Whether it's the five, whether it's a combination of more than just one, or if you had to give a name to your own love language, what do you think that it would be?
It's probably I probably respond to all of them. Like yeah, I probably I respond to all of them because like
Yeah,
yo oh man oh, you gonna do something for me, oh cool, all
yeah.
right, but at the same time it's all about how it's done and how it's executed. Like
Hmm.
if you doing it out of love as opposed to yo I'm only doing this so I could get that, like it's known.
Hmm.
Or I could feel it. So how I respond to it is different, like to the act of service.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing. Who don't respond to physical touch? But you know, I'm not one of them that's like overboard touchy because you got some people that's just overboard. Like they just
Yeah.
can't keep their hands to themselves. Like nah. But as I kind of respond to all of them, like almost all of them. Like same
Yeah.
thing, affirmation. Like that's like who don't want to be motivated. Like but then at the same time, it could also come off as yo, you're annoying. Like,
Mhm.
yo, like, your motivation is annoying to me. But I guess it's all about it's a time and a place for each one. Like they have a role, and it's all about how they come off. But more or less, I respond to almost all of them. Like
Yeah.
it's no, is I can't really choose one over another. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then plus, different people can adapt and show different. Like this person may be good at motivating people, so the way they give off, words of affirmation may be different as opposed to somebody that's good at buying gifts. Like, yo, you're good at buying gifts, but you suck at giving motivational words of affirmation. Like
Yeah.
you try, but it don't. Like same thing with gifts. Yo, you could buy good gifts, but your execution of giving it to them, it don't come off right.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, and I think most people, if they really peeled back the layers of who they were, would probably say the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I think of another conversation that I had, and in that conversation, basically it was a thing of sometimes it's just a matter of the moment. It matters what you need
Yeah,
in that moment. Sometimes you need a gift. Sometimes you need words of affirmation. Sometimes you need physical touch. Sometimes it's acts of service. Sometimes it's quality time. But it all depends on, like, even if you lean one way or the other, I think everybody wants some level of any one of the five. And
yeah,
like I said, like depending on whatever the moment calls for, and having that recognition that, like, and that's another thing, like the person that you are with, or even again branching out beyond, like, beyond romantic love, because one of the conversations that I recently had was the whole thing of, what if our friends, especially us as men, what if we understood each other's love languages better? How would that, like, make our relationships with one another better? Family members, if we understood each other's love languages better, like specifically, like which ones we kind of sort of gravitate towards the most, like how would that affect our relationships? How would it improve our relationships?
yeah. That's easy because that basically understanding love languages is another form of communication.
Hmm.
Like if you understand somebody's love language, it's kind of a little bit easier to communicate with them. Like, all right, he deal with acts of service. All right, so just to let him know that I'm gonna be a supportive friend, and I'm with him. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna take this off his plate. Like
Yeah.
that. Yo, you know what? You stressed. You know what? Let me. I'm a. You know what? You always got the kids. You know what? Let me get my nephew. I'm gonna take my nephew to the park for an hour. You got a whole hour to yourself. Do whatever you want to do in that hour. You got 60 minutes. I'll be back. No,
Yeah.
now I'm more relieved. I gotta,
Mhm.
even though I'm probably gonna spend 30 minutes trying to figure out what to do with myself. But oh man, I ain't never had this. I ain't expect nobody to do this. Like, man, all right, yo, cool. Just different things. Like I said, just somebody. If it's just, like I said, it's just easier to express yourself. Like it just makes it easier overall. Better
Mhm.
communication skills.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. Definitely agree there. So pulling in the music into it, and it can speak to any one of the love languages. It can speak to all five of them, or it could just speak love. Period. Like when you think about a song, or a, a bunch of songs, like any number of songs, like what songs do you feel like communicate love in a way that resonates with you the most?
Mm. See that it depends because it's not like I said, everything with me is mood. Like it's certain songs or certain melodies or certain beats to just put you in the mood for just different things. Like it's all about how you hear it or just preparation. Like same thing. Like I don't know who I was talking to, but I walked past them and I was like, "Yo, you really in your '80s vibe today." So it's
Mhm.
like because '80s has a whole different sound to music
Yeah.
as opposed to you'll hear the '90s. It has a whole different sound, and then they're like different. They're different forms of affection in each sound. Like
Mhm.
80s love music is different from 90s love music.
Mhm.
Then the 90s music is different from the 2000 love music. Like
Yeah.
everything is different. Like right now, I don't know what the hell we got going on. Like there is no sound. like like I don't know. I don't even know. Like I don't even know the proper way to say it. Like all them like 80s had love music, 90s had love music, 70s, like every era had their own type of love music. Like this age don't really have no love music. We got come over and get fucked. Like there's
Right.
no like there's no chase, no nothing. Like
Yeah.
come get it. Like like
Mhm.
there's no like where's the fun part? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's something missing. Like there's a whole we went from there's no in between. It's here and it's here.
Mhm.
We missed the whole story's gone. There's no
Right.
story. Like there's no story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, that brings up another question then. So you ran down some errors. We gonna attack this thing from errors. So like, and it could be one song, it could be a few songs from each era that kind of sort of like tell those stories the best. So we'll start with the 70s. Like, what are some songs from the 70s that you like that you feel like this
that
is a
that
love song to me?
that might be too far back for me.
Okay.
Because like I said, I know tunes, but I couldn't give you a date on the '70s tune because my parents wasn't even music listeners. Like
Mm, that's
so
interesting.
yeah, they wasn't at all. So
Mm,
so my stuff came from outside, like
yeah.
outside the house. Like I
Yeah.
different people like that. But like I said, if I gotta, I'll probably jump. I could probably skip the '70s and I could probably
Yeah.
jump to the '80s. Like
Okay. Okay. Give me some
I,
80s joints then.
I said, you got what's the name? What's the new edition song? Can't stop the rain. Like
Can you stand around? Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's all time. Like that's classic.
Yeah.
Like that's classic. And I said, and then like I said, with certain songs like that, you gotta realize like how I forgot how you call it, but it's like the rain is affiliated with the tears, or you crying,
Mm,
or the emotion. So like in that era, you would get a lot of songs about rain
yeah.
because it's tied to the tear emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then like I said, the '90s, you got I'm trying to really grasp because eras is so tight.
Yeah.
I think I'm just trying to. I hear songs in my head. I'm trying to make sure the dates is classified.
It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Yeah,
if it is in there, it is, you know.
yeah. Because
I
it's
just
just
want I just want some songs.
oh man, just hearing everything in my head. I know this probably dips in the '80s too, but I just be thinking about my favorite songs like "Tender Love." That's it. Like to
Hmm.
me, that's top tier. That's the greatest love song ever made to me. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's it. Like that's it. Like
Hmm.
one of them like that. Come on, everything I'm doing is stop. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you hear this right here. Like every car passing in the show, you hear what they playing. You don't hear this. Like yo,
Mhm.
you don't hear this. No, like you don't hear this. Like I said, and then same thing. Like the '90s, you just got hit with a whole. It was just a whole different era. That was more or less like your group eras where we was getting hit
Yep.
with groups. You had the Silk, the
Yep.
Lose Control. You had the Shy. If you ever fall in love, like the
Hmm.
high five we spoke about last time, the kissing
Yep.
game, like
Yep.
all this stuff. You had the Soul for Real, the new Jackson Five, like same thing. Like this Candy Rain, there's all types of different. You just that was the group era. Like
Yeah.
you had Jagged Edge, the Let's Get Married, all that stuff. Like you
Hmm.
ain't nobody singing nothing about Let's Get Married nowadays. Like you not couldn't pay nobody to do a record called Let's Get Married right now. Like you could you couldn't
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised they ain't remix it yet. It's one of the raunchiest records out. Like this some filth. Like I don't know, just different stuff. And
Yeah.
that was it's like, but at the and see that's the crazy part too. Don't get me wrong. There's some raunchy R&B records too,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all about it being raunchy and creative.
Yep.
Like it's a big difference. It was an artist on Death Row. I think his name was think B Rezzle. He had a song on the soundtrack to Murder Was the Case. This had to
Mm.
be one of the like I heard this record and it made me look at R&B different. Like, yo,
Yeah.
oh, all right, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. It's a little raunchy. It's a little out there. You know what? It's not an everyday type tune. I can't
Mm-hmm.
listen to 12 songs of this, but yo, that number 13, that one's special.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that one's special. That one's special.
Oh, you talking about horny? Is that the song?
Yep, there it
Yeah.
go. Yep. I knew you would know. I knew you would know. I
Oh
knew you
yeah.
would know.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Yep. Classic. Classic.
Yeah.
I'm about
Yeah.
to play as soon as this interview wrap up. I ain't hear that joint in a minute. I ain't hear that song in a minute.
Yeah, neither have I. Probably not since the 90s.
Oh, nah, I've heard it since then. Like I told you, I played that song heavy. That was one. That was a big tune for me.
Yeah.
Big tune.
Yeah. Yeah. Those hey, you got some good songs right there. You know what I
But yeah,
mean?
just like I said, like I listen to everything. It's a tune that you probably was familiar with. Like I remember when I first heard it, it wasn't big,
Mm-hmm.
but I heard it and I was like, "Yo, this record gonna be big."
Yeah.
I think somebody sampled it recently too. The Ghost Town DJ joint.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like when
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
first came out, when I first heard it, I was like, "Yo, this right here, this gonna be a hit."
Yeah. Yeah.
like this gonna be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, my New York ass ain't got no business listening to this shit. This shit, but talk about yo, it's gonna be a hit. My man used to say, yo, how you do that? Yo, you go to record store, you get everything that come out on Tuesday, and you sit there and you be like, yo, this gonna be a single, that's gonna be a single, and
Yeah.
then the months come out, you done named all the singles. I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, yo, he been told me this. Yes, I don't know. I guess that's my superpower. Like I should have been a DJ. Like I don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great superpower to have. You know what I mean? Like that's something honestly I was also able to do. Like I used to always say, like, if I could work at somebody record label and be like, okay, you want to choose this as your single. Eh, let's choose this one. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Me and my wife, we was in the car last week on our way to we was looking at houses or whatever. And I think we were talking about, it might have been like A. Marie. And we were talking about A. Marie, we talking about Beyonce, how like a lot of them benefited from at that same time from Rich Harrison's production. You know, Rich Harrison being from DC,
yeah.
a lot of the stuff that he was doing had like a lot of go-go influences. And one of the people that I mentioned, and I always say this, and then we had a conversation about this online. Somebody had mentioned this. Take This Ring by Toni Braxton. When she put out the Libra album, I always said they rolled out the singles wrong with that album. I'm like, Take This Ring should have, if not been the first single, it should have been the second single. I don't even think that it got released until the fourth single. I'm like, by this point, y'all done
It's
lost her
done.
fan
Yeah,
base.
it's done. It's
Like,
done.
like this should have, like the moment I heard that song on the radio, I'm like, what is this? And why wasn't this rolled out sooner? Like y'all didn't kill the album. Like nobody's interested in the album anymore. And you would barely hear the song on the radio unless it was like during mix shows. I'm like, y'all did this wrong. I wish I could have been working. I don't know whether that was when she was with Arista or J Records or whatever it was. But at that time, I was just like, y'all screwed her with this. This is terrible. You know, like this was the single. And like darn it, every time I listen to artists, even with Post Malone, I never forget listening to I think it's Better Now. Like before Better Now was even a single, I listened to that album and I was like, "Oh, this is a single and this is a hit." Lo and behold, that song became a hit. It's like I have been able to do it, and I'm sure you can relate to this. I have been able to do this since I was younger because when you have an ear for music, you know what like resonates with you and will resonate with other people. It's like it is a superpower. Like to
Yeah,
be able to pick out a song that nobody may even expect to be the hit. It's like it's a gift, you know. It's a
yep,
gift.
yeah,
It's how melodies come off. It's how beats are. It's how the person is singing a song, whatever it might be, especially in R&B or in like music where singing is required, because it can be one of the most harshly judged arenas when it comes to releasing singles. It's like you really have to release the right one in order
yeah.
for that album to be
Like
successful.
what's gonna reel you in from the moment it come on? Like something gotta
Hmm.
reel you in to make you want to get through the rest of the song. Like, oh, I want
Exactly.
to hear where he gonna go with this. Like
Right.
some, but I think what is it? I think Tupac got a record. What is it? Papa's song.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the way that record comes on, like it makes you want to listen to the whole record.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
does come on? I think that Daddy's home. Like what? Daddy's home? What this about? What they about to start talking about? Like
Yeah.
just different things. Like it's like just the whole creative process to me is just different. Like I said, music is such a powerful tool
Hmm.
that we really don't know the power of it, and it's really it's a weapon. It's a weapon.
Yeah.
It's one of the most dangerous weapons, and they know. That's why only certain things get played because they know.
Mm. Right.
They
Right.
know. That's why you hear all the ratchetness on the radio. You don't hear the stay together music, the positive music, the uplifting music. They don't program them joints. Cause
No.
you hear that 20 times a day, you gonna want to get up and do something with your life. Like
Yep. Yep.
I, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of promotion of toxic love, these
Yeah,
days. Like
yeah, exactly.
I always reference this. Like I had to listen to some songs from, and I don't want to I don't want to throw these artists under the bus or whatever, but let's just say it's like two women, well-known women R&B singers. You know what I'm saying? It's not to, like even throw the women under the bus, but just to
Yeah,
paint
yeah,
the just to paint the
yeah,
picture. I had
yeah,
to listen to these two artists, and they're very similar in what they sing about, the type of production they get, even their sounds. Their sounds are very similar. I mean, I could tell one from the other, but barely. And that's another
yeah,
thing. Like you had distinct voices at one time. You knew
yeah.
when Aretha was singing. You knew when Gladys Knight was singing. You knew when Luther Vandross was singing. You knew when Peebo Bryson was singing. Even if you push it to the 90s, you knew Brownstone. You knew
Yeah.
Brownstone from SWV, from Escape, from In Vogue. You knew Boys to Men from Jodeci, from
But that that
112,
that's
Jagged
the
Edge, Drew
that's what
Hill.
made it so great. Cause you
Yeah,
knew a Brownstone record when it came on. You wouldn't even hear
exactly.
them before you even heard them sing. You
Hmm.
knew the record when it came on. Yo, this
Yep,
Brownstone. You ain't
yep,
even heard the voice, nothing. Yo,
right.
this Brownstone. Oh, yo, this
Exactly.
SWV. Like you ain't
Hmm.
even they ain't said a word yet, but yeah, this day tune coming on. Like
Yeah,
just from
exactly.
the vibe that it had. Like now
Exactly.
it'd be like you listen to a record, you naming like four people.
And all of them wrong.
And yeah, exactly. 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 Like, yo, all this shit sound man, all this shit sound the same, man. Like
Yeah, yeah. I'll never forget hearing a Summer Walker song, and I swore it was SZA. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "This ain't SZA." They was like, "No, it's Summer Walker." I'm like, "That's Summer Walker." I'm like, "She sound like SZA." Like, you
it's like
sure?
yeah. Like I
Now,
got
granted, so I
yeah.
always felt like SZA had a very unique voice, and I feel like a lot of singers try to sound like her. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like her. Her has a very specific voice, but then I'm starting to hear a lot of artists sound like her, And it's just like if you find one or two or three voices, or Janae Aiko. Like it felt like at least 10 or 12 singers sound like Janae Aiko to me. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay, can we get some variety in the voices instead of like all these cookie cutter voices? And not just the cookie cutter voices, because going back to the point that I was about to make was the fact that I'm listening to these two different albums from these two different artists, and it's basically the same topics. It's, you know, have good sex, or you ain't like it's no
yeah,
real in between. It's no like,
yeah.
okay, we're in
Like,
this really good space in a relationship, or we have this healthy relationship, and you know, we want to be in love. Like it's a lot of jaded kind of songs. Like I'm jaded to this, I'm jaded to that. Like, you know, I'm hurt from this, so this is why I do that. It's like a lot of unresolved, like a lot of people that don't go to therapy. That's what I hear.
yeah,
That music.
yeah.
You know,
And then you
but
got people listening
yeah,
to it and they co-signing it. Like, yo,
right, right.
it's not okay. Like, there's other avenues and there's different. Like, that's what get me. Like, yo, I don't have. That's what, like, as a writer, what kill me sometimes is when people be like, yo, I got writer's block. Me personally, I don't believe in writer's block. I'm not a fan of
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, to me, to say you have writer's block, that means you're not thinking. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
not thinking. You so you don't have no thoughts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you did nothing. Like, all right, I'll like, if I want to write something or I'm stuck on a topic, I read a book, watch a movie,
Mm-hmm.
throw a TV show on or something, listen to a
Mm-hmm.
song. Like, just different things motivate me. Like,
Yeah.
I think I know I know, like, I did a song and I was having an issue writing the song, and I end up writing, my whole verse was from a scene from the movie American Pie. like, just to tell you how you grab inspiration from anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I've
that
done
that
that.
yeah, like, you know what? Watch this movie. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I got my verse.
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
my verse. So gee, I got writer's block. Yo, so you not thinking? Like, how? How you don't have a thought? But then
Yeah.
sometimes I feel I think too much. So, like, maybe it's just me. But I'm always thinking. I
Mm.
always got something to say. Like, nah, I always got something to say.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of times with writer's block too, it's because I deal with this. I think a lot of times it's not the fact, at least for me, it's not the fact that I don't have a thought. It's the fact that I'm too rigorous with how things come out, or I'm too much trying to be a perfectionist with how it sounds, or like when I say it out of my mouth, or when the pen hits the pad, it's like, okay, do I like how this flows? Do I like how this sounds? Does this Is this me? You know what I mean? Like I feel like when I get writer's block, it's me getting in my own way because I'm too busy like being bogged down by perfectionism.
Want to perfect it? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like to not have anything to write about at all, I agree with you. Like I always think about something Rakim said, and it's very similar to what you said. The only difference is like one of the things that he was saying about like how he never gets writer's block is because he goes out and he experiences life. So
Yeah.
if you're going out and experiencing life, how do you never have anything to write about? Like if you actually get off the porch, as they say, like if you
yeah.
off the porch, you gonna have plenty to write about. That's the way I look at it. I always got plenty to write about. It's whether or not it sounds the way I want it to sound. That's I don't even
yeah.
consider that necessarily a block, like in the sense of how we often look as writer's block. Like I don't have anything to write about. I look at it as like it's not it's not it's not up to my standard. There's a
Yeah.
difference. You know what I mean?
But
So.
yeah, I said, but that's like, to me, that's how I love writing, because most people be like, yo, I'm like, yo, it don't take me long to write,
Mm-hmm.
because to me, it'll be like I'm putting together a puzzle in my head. Like, I have, all
Mm,
right, I got this bar here. And you
yeah.
know what? Let me move it. Let me put it here, and then let me put this here, and then, like, all right, so yeah, like yo, I'm playing
Yeah.
Tetris with my words. Like,
I like that.
yeah, So I kind of like that part. It's just different. The
Mhm.
same thing. And like I said, sometimes the right. And then if I'm talking about a topic or different things, you know what? Let me research this topic.
Yeah.
Now I'm enhancing my mind because I want to think. So I can't get blocked. I'm learning. Like every
Mhm.
day you learning. Like I used to pick my son up from school. Every day I asked me, oh, what'd you learn today? What'd you do today? Like, nah, I
Yeah.
ain't learned nothing in school. I said, nah, that's impossible. Like that's impossible.
Right.
Like that's impossible. Like yes, you supposed to learn something every day. Like I
Yep.
even now, somebody will say something to me, and I'll be like, "Oh, cool, I learned something today. That's the thing I learned today." Like,
Mhm.
all right, the day almost over, and look, I learned something.
Yeah.
Like every day you learn something. So how you not? Same thing. You open a window, you go outside. Like everything. The world is a movie. Like
Mhm.
same thing. You pass like you walk up the block, you walk past 10 people, you done pass 10 different stories.
Yes. Yes.
At least
Ooh.
at least 10 different stories. Because everybody you pass, something going on with them. They got a story. This minimum 10. Because you walk past somebody, they probably got 8 stories going on in their head.
Yep.
But just the whole fact of like, yo, everybody is interacting. Like there's something going on. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
so all that, nah, I'm blocked. Nah, you just not thinking like at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
trust me. Like
Yeah.
tell me you don't know what to write about. You don't know where to start, like or something like
Mhm.
that. Like it's always a story to tell. Always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to your point about being able to walk past like 10 people and that's like 10 stories right there. It actually made me think about, so I was doing this for maybe a couple of months. What I would do, I would journal in my I had a little comp book or whatever that I would write what happened in my day. And what I did more often than not was focus on like somebody who stood out to me in that day. And it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like I tried to make up a story based on the energy that I got from that person. Like, okay, they're dressed like this. They have this expression on their face. They have this particular type of posture and like body language and body energy. Like, and me sitting there trying to like get into their mind, like, I wonder where this person lives in the city. I wonder what this person does for a living. All of these different things in my mind, and I would literally make up a song based on what I thought that person's experience was, just from the energy that they gave me. And I think that if people kind of sort of got imaginative in it, and it's so funny that I was literally reading something earlier today. This might have been like a Bible passage or whatever. I want to say it was from James. I forget exactly what the scripture was, but the whole point of the scripture was to talk about like how doubt gets in the way of imagination. And the beauty of imagination is when you kind of sort of go where that fear is. Like when you are bound by fear, you can't be imaginative because
Mm-hmm.
you don't open your mind enough. Like when we're
Yeah.
when we're kids, we're intrepid. Like we don't fear hardly anything. But like with life and with a lot of things we go through in adulthood, sometimes we get a little bit gun shy, so to say. Whereas like
Start building up walls and putting limits there.
exactly, exactly. Whereas, God, that's not the way that God wants us to be. Like he wants us to be imaginative. Like because that's how all of these great things come about in the world. Like all of these great inventions, all of these great songs that come out. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're talking about the music behind the songs, the lyrics behind the songs, it's when you start opening yourself up and just saying, okay, yeah, I might be afraid, but I'm gonna do it scared, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but it's funny you said that because it's just like the same thing with kids. You'd be like, yo, don't like I tell my youngest, yo, you can't touch the stove.
mhm,
He'll because it's hot because of the fire, right? I
yeah,
touch the fire, I'm gonna get burnt. Like, but he hear all this, but he still want to touch the fire.
yep,
I know I'm gonna get burned. I know it's hot. I still want to touch it.
mhm,
Like that fear is it's not even a thing to them. Like
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
even it's like you speaking a foreign language to them. All right,
right,
I'm gonna get burnt and
mhm, mhm,
and Like you got to go through the whole details. Then you might lose your hand. It might like you got to really break all this stuff down for them to be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna touch it." Like,
Hmm.
but but that is crazy. As you get older, you start building up walls and fear and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I think like when it's funny that we're having a conversation about R&B and somehow fear kind of comes
yeah,
into play because it's when you listen to a lot of this music that's out now versus a lot of the music that like we came up on. A lot of the music that I hear now is rooted and grounded in fear. It's the fear of letting down those walls. It's the fear of being hurt again. It's the fear that I don't want this person to take advantage of me like these other people did in the past. And that person's a completely, it goes back to what you said in the very first conversation we had. That's a totally different person. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like you can't
yeah,
treat them the same way or view them the same way as you viewed this person in the past who did hurt you. But they're not that. Like this is a brand new experience. It's like you have to remove that fear and open yourself up in a way. Whereas tying it back into the whole love languages thing, this person might be that person that can speak your love language or love languages in a way that nobody else has been able to do. You know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
You
Same
got
thing with
you
friendship.
got to get them that opportunity.
Exactly.
And that's where
Exactly.
the fear come in. We be scared to get them that. Yeah, I'm not giving nobody else's opportunity because the
Right.
last person I gave it to them, and look what they did. So
Mhm.
you go do the same thing. Like yo, but I just got here. Like, we just started talking yesterday. Like what I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And what I was going to say was that also applies to friendships because you hear like a lot of people say no new friends. I think that's the dumbest saying in the whole wide world. I've
It
never
is.
really
It
said
is.
that publicly
It
like
is.
as
Yeah.
as vehemently as I feel it, but it is the dumbest saying in the world because it's like your me and my wife, we were talking about this recently, and it was something that like actually had been circulating around on the internet as well. You got your day ones, your day twos, and your day threes. You know what I'm saying? Like you have different tiers of friends who your day ones, they've been there since like the very beginning. You know,
Yeah.
the day twos, they were somewhere in the middle, and your day threes, they are often the ones who will run through a brick wall for you the most because they've met probably the most evolved version of you. And
Yeah.
versus like say your day ones and your day twos who remember you win and sometimes they hold remember you win against you.
Yeah.
Whereas your
They
day
don't
threes, it's
they
like
don't know how to deal with the new you. They're
right.
constantly judging the new you on what the old you used to do. So they looking at you different as opposed to John you just met yesterday. This all he know. Like,
Right. Right.
day one come
Exactly.
around, yo, remember when you used to do that? You like, yo,
Hmm.
I don't know him from that. Like, I don't, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know him from that.
that's a foreign language to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like
Yeah. So
I've had myself in conversations like that. I'd be having to tell people like, yo, I had a whole nother life before I met you. Yo, like I had a whole nother life before I met you.
yeah.
Like, not even that. Like, yo, I just had a whole different life entirely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me and you, not even supposed to be friends. Like,
Mm,
me and people like you had different types of relationships before.
yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
can't. Like, nah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that. Like, we had to like, don't make me turn into the old me. Like, I don't want to be that
Mm,
person no
mm,
more. but
mm-hmm.
but you keep talking to me, I'm gonna go there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the last question I'm going to ask is given your experiences, and it could be in any arena or all of the above, it could be romantic relationships, it could be friendships, it could be family. And it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to one or two or even all five of the love languages, but
Yeah.
just in terms of how you receive love and how love makes the most sense to you. Who are some of the people in your life or throughout your life? And it could be past, situations, it could be current situations, who communicated in a love in a way that you felt the most loved, you felt the most understood?
Mm. That's a tough one. like that's a tough one because I'll be like, my biggest thing is like I feel like I'm one of the most misunderstood people in the world. So I
Mm,
really feel like to a certain extent, don't nobody understand me. Like a lot of times I tell people, yo, just listen to the music and just listen to the song. Like if you listen to my music and you listen to my songs, that give you all the information about me that you need.
mm,
Like that'll give you everything.
yeah.
Cause like a friend of mine, he had said, yo, like yo, him, man, we'll sit here and we'll be talking about it's raining outside and he'll go make a song talking about the three of us was sitting in the house and it was raining outside.
Yeah.
Like I that's just me. Like I told you, I'll make a song out of anything. Like
Yeah.
that's how I used to remember stuff at school. Like I'll be reading a book and I'll turn that into a song. like,
Mhm.
all right, now I remember it because it's in song form, so I remember it. But
Mm,
that's it. It's hard because really to for somebody really to understand you, nobody really understands nobody like just on the way I feel because I honestly feel nobody's really 100% with everybody about everything.
mm,
So how you really understand somebody if they're not 100% truthful with you?
yeah.
Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's kind of it's really not a good thing to give up all your cards anyway. like
Mm, mhm. Yep. Yep.
it's really not good to give up all your cards anyway. So
Mhm.
so nobody really should be should know you to that point. But it'll be certain things that people will say to me that will hit
Mhm.
home. Like they may comment on something I did or just motivation. Like somebody said to me the other day, they was like, yo, um, don't give up. Like, what do you
Mm,
mean? It said, Joe, just don't give up. It's like
mhm.
because a lot of people give up, and I don't want you to be one of them people. I don't want you to give up.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just a random conversation. Like, and like they didn't, and I was kind of feeling the way, and I was already having like a midday,
Mhm.
and they just said it to me randomly out of nowhere, and it hit home.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. It's like with the love language, it's like, yo, it could come from anywhere at any time. And you never really know what will like different things will resonate with you. Like I could have been in a different headspace and somebody might have said that to me. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to hear that. Like, leave me alone. Like, why are you talking
Yeah.
to me?
Yeah.
But because but because of the way I was feeling and they said it to me, it's like, you know what? Maybe that was the man upstairs kind of like giving me a little tap on the shoulder, like, yo, I see what you're going through. You know what? It's all right. But I'm gonna send a message to you in a different form. The
Mhm.
other form I was sending it into you wasn't getting it. You wasn't receiving it. So now I'm gonna use this person as a vessel to get to you and touch you the way that you need to hear this message.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's that's powerful right there. That is powerful. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, you never know where it's going to come from and like the way
or when,
that
yeah.
right. Yeah, or when. Exactly. Exactly. Like you weren't even expecting it, but it's like God knew you needed it when you needed it, even more than you knew that you needed it in that moment,
Yeah, and
you
like I said,
know.
even that was it because it was the same thing. And it's like even after he said it, I was like, damn, yo, I needed to hear that. Like,
Yeah.
yo, I really need. I didn't know I needed to hear that
Yeah.
until you said it to me.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Mhm. And those are the best times when it's completely unexpected and you're not even necessarily looking for it, but it's like your spirit needs it more than you can even recognize that it needs it because it's like sometimes it's just that affirmation or that confirmation of whatever is going on within you, whether it's spoken or unspoken. And when you get it, it means a little bit more because you weren't expecting it. You weren't asking for it. You didn't
yeah,
have to beg anybody for it. It just came. It's like, oh, That's it's almost like finding a $50 bill on the ground, and you wasn't thinking about a $50 bill, but it's just on the ground. It's like, oh, here's $50. Boom.
Yep.
I didn't expect to walk into that. Cool. I got $50 now.
Yep.
Versus some you having to ask somebody for $50 and they give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different feeling.
Yeah,
Different feeling.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, speaking of music, and one of the things you said in terms of like a lot of times if people want to know certain things about you or understand certain things about you, just listen to the music. I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to plug your latest album that you
Yeah.
have out.
Yeah. 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 Hell yeah. Everything, everybody dies. Everything, everybody dies. Oh, my fault. Everybody, everything dies. That's it. That's the latest project. I think this album number 7, lucky number 7. Um, this is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
I said it just like I said it hit on a point, and like I said, it's not a the title is a little out there, but realistically, you got to think about it. Everything has an expiration date. Everything, no
Mhm.
matter what it is, your time at a job, friendship, relationship, whatever it is, like everything has an expiration date. And instead of focusing on an expiration date, focus on the time that you have
Yeah.
with what it is that you love. Just enjoy that. Focus on that. Focus
Mhm.
on the enjoyment. Not yeah, this time about to end. Yeah, like no, live in the now. Like that's really what the album is about. You
Yeah.
know, saying everything, everybody dies. Like just enjoy the now. Don't
Yeah.
be like, man, I wish I told him that. Like, nah, don't wait. Like, pick up the phone now. Like, yo, I miss you. Yo, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Cause one of the things that really baffle me, like, I don't do funerals. Like, I'm not a funeral person because
Mhm.
to me, I never understood the concept of it because your man would be like, yo, man, yo, come on, come check me. Nah, I ain't got the time. I can't get off work. I'm busy, this and that. But then tomorrow, John died. Now you taking off work.
Right.
Now you hop in the plane, the fly. Oh, yo, I gotta go to the funeral. For what? Like, but John asked you last week. You ain't had a time. So what do you come?
Mhm.
You're not coming to see me. We can't talk. We can't conversate.
Mm.
Like you're coming to confirm I'm dead. Like what are you showing up for?
Wow. Wow.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
like maybe if you took the time to spend with me, that when I asked you to come check me, you might have extended my life a little bit longer
Mm. Mm.
because we feed off each other energy.
Yeah.
So like, all right, cool. You come to me, you see me, I got your energy, I build, I feel rejuvenated. I spoke to an old friend. You took time to call. Like let's not wait till people gone to celebrate their death. Like we can't we ain't got no time for nobody while we alive. But the minute they die, like it's just mind blowing. Like I said, we take off work, we buying flights. We ain't seen these people in 20 years, but he died yesterday. You making a beeline to make it to the funeral. Like I don't get it. like
Right. Right.
you know,
Right. Like should have kept that same energy in life.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, it don't take much. Like I said, just want to put positive energy out there. Like I said, it's a lot of songs up there. It's a lot of uplifting songs up there, and the record meant a lot to me because, I had a friend that passed maybe about 2 years ago. Mogul. I used to always say to him, "Yo, I want to make positive music," and he used to tell, it was a joke to him. He used to be like, "Yo, man, what you look like making positive music? Who you think you is? You ain't Talib Kweli. Like you ain't gonna make no positive nothing." So every
Yeah.
time I make so I got a couple positive records up here, man. it's
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
it's a couple of positive records up here. Like, I always had the moniker, I was Mr. DSF, but sometimes you gotta calm things down and just explore life. Like, I make positive music. I say
Yeah.
I make
Yeah.
I make positive music too. So
Yeah.
you know. all the ratchetness ain't always out there. Like I said, it's a lot of good stuff up there. Like I like it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
couple people like it. You know, I said the new video out, calling out. That's my third video I directed and shot, wrote the treatment for.
Yeah.
So, and I got some more coming. So
Yeah.
I'm heavy. I'm gonna be heavy on the visuals with this album.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I think see, it's funny because I had posted something, I forget the guy's name. It was Race somebody. But anyway, posted something about how it's different. There's a difference between saying, "Hey, my album is out now, go check it out," and what you just did, and really selling like the story behind the album, really, giving a picture as to why this album is so important for you,
Right.
why the energy behind it is necessary in this day and age. Like, I mean, at really
Yeah,
any
you
day and
gotta
age, it don't even
tell a
matter. Like,
story. Like you gotta
yeah,
tell a story.
exactly,
Like there's a
exactly,
story to. Why should I pick
exactly.
this up? Why should I purchase this? All right, yo, I
Right.
heard the story. Now it's the same thing. It's like you want to reel them in. You got to get them something. You got to
Mm-hmm.
give them something. Why
Yeah.
should that's why to me that's why I like the like you said with the albums. Why we like the visual. You're seeing something. Like, all right, why did he choose this album cover? Oh, I'm listening to the music. Oh, I hear how the words tie in with this picture or this visual. Like it
Mm-hmm.
has to tie in together. It's all part of the story.
That's right.
It's
That's
all
right.
part of the
And
story.
you just made it like an even greater part of the story. So like if anybody has not heard the album yet, if you're not sold by what my brother just said, I don't know what else gonna sell you because I'm like, yeah, I plan on listening to it again and again and again
Yeah,
after hearing that because it's like, yeah, like we need that, especially that gem you dropped about like the whole thing of why go to a funeral of somebody that you didn't have time for in life, but now you got time for them. That I
yeah.
feel like that might have convicted a lot of folks out here and that
Cause
needed to
yeah,
be
I
convicted
be
about it, myself included.
nah. I be confused. Like I just really
Yeah.
be confused. Like I don't.
Mhm.
Like don't. Like I said, cause I'm big on one of them. Like yo, if I don't want to hear, I don't like. I hate when somebody tell me, yo, I ain't had no time.
Mhm.
Yo, I don't like that drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
Like say people make time for what they want. Like yo, one of the
Yep.
main arguments I have with a lot of my male counterparts is
Mhm.
them telling me they don't have time. I be like, yo, I ain't never in all my years walking this earth heard a woman call a man and tell him, yo, come over here and come get this. And the man reply, yo, I ain't got no time to come over there right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Right.
ain't got no time for that right now.
Yeah.
I ain't never. Man be with next woman getting some. And the next woman call him talking about come over. Yo, I be there in 10 minutes. I'm on my way. Like he sliding out of this to go over there to that. So
Right.
I don't want it. He made time. He made
Yeah.
time because
Exactly.
that's what he wanted.
Right.
Like ain't nobody. Nah, you know what? Nah, I can't come over there and please you right now, mom. I gotta catch up on this sleep.
Right.
I don't have no time. Nah, he calling out of work. He 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 neglecting all his responsibilities in life. Like and the crazy part is it ain't even a guarantee he gonna get it. He just on the thought that he may even get close to it. He
Right.
giving up everything and making time to go over there. Like
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
his homeboy needed his help moving. His man outside sitting there calling all his stuff on the curb. He calling, yo.
Right.
John said he was coming over here with the U-Haul at 5. Oh,
Yeah.
what happened? John was on his way, but then 4:45, Cindy called. That's it. Like that's it. That's it. Like
That's
that's what happened. Like yo,
yeah. That's real right there. That's real. Yeah. Well, I look. I appreciate that extra gem on the end right there. I think that's one to grow on right there. You know what I'm saying? So I personally appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody watching appreciates that as well. Like, hey, manage your time well. You are the man. You are the best manager of your time. And if you need some help, hey, I always tell people, hey, God is an even better time manager than us. So, like everything else, you got to be a steward of it. It's how you steward what you have. If you want more time, steward your time well, you get more time. You know what I'm saying? Or you get more opportunities to manage your time better. You get the same amount of time as everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but
Everybody
yeah,
or different.
huh?
Everybody 24 different.
Right. It's all how you manage it. All how you manage it. But my brother, I appreciate you once again for a great
No problem.
convo.
Anytime.
Absolutely. This has been great. And we'll be wrapping. And also before we hop off, I just want to thank you once again because we mentioned the album, but I gotta thank you for allowing me space to be on your album as well, inviting me to, spit a 16 and really like just, it pulled some good things out of me. Like, whenever I'm working with people that I respect, like it really sharpened me as an artist and really kind of sort of put me in a good place and made me appreciate the value of home. You know what I mean? And what I have at home and why home is so important, and that home is where the heart is when it comes down to it.
That's one of my favorite records up there too. That's
Yeah,
one of my favorite records up there.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I heard it and I heard you want it. So
yeah. I appreciate that.
I just don't be throwing features out. Yo, can't jump on this. Like, I really gotta hear somebody on it for me to be like, yo, I need a 16. Like,
yeah. And that joint was perfect. As soon as I heard, I was like, "Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot." And it was like right in that like mixture of R&B, hip hop bag that I like to be in.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, sir. But I thank you once again, my brother, and we will definitely be talking once again soon.
All right, man. Keep it green.
Absolutely, always, all day.
All right.
All right, peace, my brother. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that's my brother Hell Yeeeeah with another great conversation. And, I appreciate him as always for just, bringing different perspectives. That's the thing that I love about this series is that everybody brings a certain level of perspective to these conversations. It's never going to be the same every single time. And that's the beauty of people, like we're not all alike, no two alike like a snowflake, So I appreciate my brother for coming on to have this conversation about love, romance, and R&B. And speaking of talking about love languages, of course, that was the topic for today. But of course, this topic is surrounding my latest single that is out right now, and that is none other than Fluent in My Language. You can get it available now for purchase, streaming. You can buy it on iTunes, on Amazon, Bandcamp, my Bandcamp, throwback.bandcamp.com. Also, my website, ammllc.net/music. You can also stream it, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you can stream music, it's there. But y'all know me. I always tell you, if you can buy it, buy it. But hey, I take streams as well. Definitely no complaints in terms of how you consume the music. But the purchases just support us as independent artists just a little bit more. But also at the same website, I mentioned BAMMLLC.net. At that same website, you can also get merch like what you see on me right now. There's also the Love on Rewind collection that is currently out, but you can go to my website, which is BAMMLLC.net/shop batch to see the Love on Rewind collection, to see this shirt, which is one of my most popular shirts as well, as an ode to DC culture and all that good stuff. And lots of other stuff. I got hats, got accessories and all of that. I have the Take 'em to the Bridge t-shirt, which is very popular or becoming very popular. The Make R&B music great again dad hats, and I'm going to be adding some more pieces down the line. So y'all definitely stay tuned for that. If you're not already following me on social media, please do so. I thank everybody who is already following me. And if you're not already, please do so. I am at AJ Throwback on Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter. I am at a.j.throwback on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And right here on YouTube, I am at AJ Throwback 928. So please, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Hit the bell notification so whenever I go live, post a new video, premiere a new video, you'll be among the first to know. And please don't forget to like this video, comment on it, and share it with your friends. If you enjoyed this conversation tonight, why hold it to yourself? Share it with your friends, share it with your family. And if you're watching this live, I appreciate you. If you're watching this on a replay, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who ever tunes in to this program, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here tonight on another Friday night. So next week, we will be back with another great conversation, continuing in our series on love languages. So y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned for that. Oh, and also, if you're not already following my brand pages, I am on Facebook and Instagram at batch.202 and on X, formerly known as Twitter, batch_202. So until the next time, y'all know me. It's all about bringing back TLC, not only the love conversations, but tender love and care. Keep the love flowing, keep the love going, and all of that good stuff. So until next time, I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your Friday night, enjoy your weekend, and I will see y'all next week for another episode of Bring Back the Love Conversations. Peace.